it's okay. So the George dude, like, I don't know him, right? So no offense.
Yeah.
But this guy seems like a fucking pussy because he wants to be a comedian. Yeah. And fucking Bobby Lee is one of the funniest comedians out there. And Bobby Lee is giving him a hard time. He's sort of fucking with him.
That's what he does.
But he's doing it in a way that only an experienced comedian can do, where he's fucking with you, but then he's also being cool to you and like back and forth. And George at one point just can't take it and he walks off the podcast. So this made me start thinking about it because I saw Bobby Lee interviewing Logan Paul talking about what would you do, like what he would do if one of his co-hosts walked out. And I started thinking, I'm like, what would I do if AD or House Phone or Lush or whoever walked out? And I can't even think of a situation in which any of you would ever walk out unless somebody said something like extremely offensive to you.
Who's the most likely out of the three of us you think to walk
And
out?
then we might lunge over the table. I don't know if I'm gonna walk out.
Out of me, AD, and Phone, who you think is would be the quickest?
Phone is definitely the George of the crew. George
But
of
if
the
you're
jungle.
a comedian, bro, you gotta have tougher skin than that. There's no way in hell you a comedian. You're supposed to be able to dish, take all that. There's no way in hell you supposed to. Cause like, what if you doing your stand up and then somebody in the crowd get on you? That happens all the time. We can find a million videos on YouTube where there's a comic doing stand up and then he's going back and forth with the crowd and then the dude in the crowd low key getting on his head. Like, what you gonna do? Leave your show?
Like, I would look at it as so unprofessional if one of you guys were to walk out, unless the thing that was happening was actually offensive or upsetting enough that it was valid that you walked out, which to me in this case just clearly, I know we didn't show the whole context, but
valid.
it really isn't.
He didn't do shit.
He didn't do shit.
Well,
He was just being
like,
funny.
Well, here, so I feel like George is hypersensitive, right? So where like he just felt like he was like ruining like the mood and like making things super like cringy and hard to watch. So he just up and left. Especially after Logan Paul like called him out again and said, "Oh, like you're not saying nothing, right?" So he just kind of felt like, "Damn, like I'm fucking shit up. Let me just leave," you know.
But I there's a little chunk of me that feels like George might be leaving the podcast over this.
Oh,
Nah, man.
well,
I don't think so.
so he did. He did apologize to Bobby. At first, Bobby Lee apologized to him because he was just so like
And he took it back.
confused, and then he wound up taking it back. He retroactively
Oh,
took
in
his
the- yeah, I saw
apology
that.
That shit
back.
was fire.
But I mean,